Over 60. Eat grains, but avoid these 5 dangerous mistakes. If you're over 60, you've probably been told for years that grains are one of the healthiest things you can eat. Doctors, dietitians, even TV commercials keep praising them for heart health, digestion, and long-lasting energy. But here's the truth nobody talks about. The way most seniors eat grains today can quietly destroy their health. In fact, new research from leading universities shows that certain grain habits can trigger dangerous spikes in blood sugar, strip your body of vital minerals, and even increase your risk for heart disease and memory loss. And here's the worst part: many of these mistakes are made by people who think they're eating healthy. I've seen it in my own patients. They swap white bread for whole wheat, pour cereal every morning, or add healthy oats to every meal. Yet their lab results tell a different story. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which grain habits are helping you and which ones could be slowly harming your body after 60. And believe me, one of these mistakes is so common, you might be making it before breakfast without even realizing it. Number 5. Pair whole grains with the right protein and fat. Choosing whole grains instead of refined ones is one of the most common healthy changes seniors make, but here's the part most people never learn. What you combine those grains with can completely change their effect on your body. After 60, your digestion and metabolism slow down. Your muscle mass naturally declines, and your body becomes less efficient at controlling blood sugar. Eating even healthy grains like oatmeal, brown rice, or whole wheat bread on their own can cause a rapid surge in glucose levels, followed by a crash that leaves you tired, foggy, and craving more carbs. Over time, these constant blood sugar swings can increase inflammation, accelerate artery damage, contribute to memory loss, and raise the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, even in people who have never had blood sugar issues before. Happens because without protein and fat to slow the absorption, your body digests the carbohydrates in grains too quickly, overwhelming your insulin response. The solution is surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful. Every time you eat grains, pair them with a high-quality protein and a healthy fat. Instead of starting your morning with plain oatmeal, stir in a spoonful of almond butter and sprinkle it with chia seeds or crushed walnuts. Replace dry whole grain toast with one topped with avocado slices and a boiled egg. When you have brown rice for lunch or dinner, combine it with grilled salmon or chicken and drizzle with extra virgin olive oil. These combinations slow down digestion, create a steadier release of energy, and keep your blood sugar stable for hours. This doesn't just protect your heart and brain, it can also improve satiety, prevent mid-afternoon crashes, and help maintain muscle strength, which is critical for mobility and independence as we age. Research from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that older adults who balanced their carbohydrate intake with adequate protein and fats had significantly lower rates of metabolic syndrome, better cholesterol profiles, and reduced markers of inflammation. In fact, the benefits were so pronounced that the researchers concluded it could be one of the simplest and most effective dietary shifts for seniors to make. I've seen this firsthand in my own patients within weeks of changing how they eat. Grains, they reported steadier energy throughout the day, fewer sugar cravings, and sharper mental focus. One woman in her late 60s told me she felt as if a cloud had been lifted after decades of post-meal fatigue. This isn't about giving up the grains you love, it's about eating them in a way that truly supports your body after 60. Number 4. Avoid hidden sugars in healthy grain products. Walk into any supermarket and you'll see entire aisles filled with products labeled as whole grain, multigrain, or heart healthy. For many seniors, these labels feel like a green light to eat freely, but the reality is that a large portion of these foods are loaded with hidden sugars that can undo all the benefits of the grains themselves. Cereal brands often marketed to older adults as high in fiber can contain as much sugar per serving as a candy bar. Even whole wheat bread can hide added molasses, honey, or high fructose corn syrup to improve taste and texture. The problem for people over 60 is that the body's ability to process sugar diminishes with age, especially if there's already some degree of insulin resistance or prediabetes. Consuming these hidden sugars daily can cause chronic inflammation, promote fat storage around the abdomen, and put extra strain on the pancreas, which in turn increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and type 2 diabetes. The danger is made worse by the fact that many of these products don't taste overtly sweet, meaning you might not realize how much sugar you're actually consuming. Breakfast granola, instant oatmeal packets with flavoring, and healthy snack bars are some of the worst offenders. A senior might start their morning with a bowl of Raisin Bran, thinking it's a wise choice, when in reality they've just consumed over 20 grams of sugar before 9 a.m., and that sugar rush, followed by a blood sugar crash, can leave you feeling sluggish, irritable, and craving even more carbs before lunchtime. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition shows that older adults who regularly consume added sugars, even in foods marketed as healthy, have significantly higher levels of triglycerides, lower HDL good cholesterol, and greater waist circumference compared to those who limit added sugars. The researchers warn that the metabolic impact of sugar becomes more pronounced with age, meaning what was tolerable at 40 can be harmful at 65. In my practice, I've seen seniors cut out just 2 or 3 high-sugar, healthy grain foods, and within weeks report more stable energy, reduced bloating, and better blood pressure readings. The fix isn't to stop eating grains, it's to read labels carefully. Choose products with no added sugar and prepare grains yourself whenever possible so you know exactly what's in them. Even small changes here can pay off in better blood sugar control, healthier weight, and long-term heart protection. Number 3, stop overcooking your grains. Many seniors prepare grains the same way they have for decades, boiling rice until it's soft enough to mash with a fork, simmering oatmeal into a creamy paste, or cooking pasta until it almost falls apart. While this might make them easier to chew, overcooking grains dramatically changes their nutritional profile and the way your body processes them. The longer grains are cooked, the more their starches break down into simple sugars, raising their glycemic index and causing sharper blood sugar spikes. This means that a bowl of overcooked oatmeal can raise your glucose almost as quickly as a slice of white bread, especially in someone over 60, whose insulin sensitivity is already reduced. But it's not just about blood sugar overcooking. Also causes significant nutrient loss. Water-soluble vitamins like B1 thiamine and B3 niacin, both crucial for energy, metabolism, and nerve health, leach into the cooking water and are often discarded. Minerals like magnesium and potassium, which support heart rhythm and muscle function, are also reduced. For seniors who may already be struggling with nutrient absorption, this loss can contribute to fatigue, weaker muscles, and even irregular heartbeat. There's also a digestive angle. Overcooked grains lose much of their natural fiber structure, meaning they pass through the digestive system more quickly and provide less of the slow release energy that helps keep you full. This can lead to eating larger portions or snacking more frequently, both of which work against maintaining a healthy weight. In contrast, slightly undercooked or al dente grains retain more of their structure, keeping the glycemic response lower and delivering more intact nutrients to your body. Research in food chemistry found that grains cooked to a firmer texture retained up to 25% more B vitamins and had a significantly lower glycemic impact compared to fully softened grains. In my own consultations, I've seen seniors make a simple switch, cooking brown rice for 5 minutes less, or letting steel-cut oats stay slightly chewy, and notice improved energy stability throughout the morning or afternoon. One gentleman in his early 70s told me that just adjusting his cooking time for breakfast oats stopped the mid-morning crash. He'd been battling for years. Cooking grains less doesn't mean sacrificing comfort. It means protecting your blood sugar, preserving vital nutrients, and getting the full benefit of the foods you've chosen for your health. Think of it as treating your grains with a little more respect so they can treat your body better in return. Number 2. Ignoring portion sizes, even with healthy grains. One of the most common mistakes I see in seniors is assuming that if a grain is labeled whole or healthy, they could eat as much as they want. The truth is, even whole grains contain a significant amount of carbohydrates. And after 60, your body simply doesn't process those carbs the way it used to. Muscle mass declines with age, which means your body burns fewer calories at rest, and insulin sensitivity drops, making it easier for excess carbs to be stored as fat, particularly around the midsection. Overeating grains, even the healthiest ones, can lead to steady weight gain, higher blood sugar levels, and increased inflammation, all of which contribute to heart disease, joint pain, and a higher risk of metabolic syndrome. This problem often sneaks up on people because serving sizes in real life are far larger than those used in nutrition research. For example, the nutritional label on brown rice might list a serving as 1/2 cup cooked, yet most people eat 1 to 2 full cups without realizing it. The same is true for oatmeal, pasta, and even quinoa. When you double or triple the serving size, you're also doubling or tripling the calorie load and the impact on your blood sugar. Many seniors tell me they feel they're barely eating because their meals seem small compared to younger years. But portion creep over time, especially at breakfast and dinner, is a major driver of weight gain and sluggish energy. Studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have found that adults over 60 who consume more than 3 servings of grains per day, without balancing them with vegetables and protein, have higher levels of visceral fat, the dangerous type that surrounds organs, and a greater risk of cardiovascular complications. What's more, excess grain intake without enough dietary diversity can push out other nutrient-dense foods from the diet, leading to deficiencies in key vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. In my practice, one of the most effective changes I've seen is having seniors measure their grain portions before cooking rather than after. When you start with a measured dry amount, for example, 1/4 cup of uncooked oats or 1/3 cup of uncooked rice, you gain control over the final portion size without relying on guesswork. One woman in her late 60s who made this change dropped 8 pounds in 3 months without altering anything else in her diet. And she reported feeling lighter, more energetic, and less bloated. The goal isn't to eliminate grains or feel deprived. It's to eat them in amounts your body can handle now, in this stage of life. That way, you enjoy their benefits without silently overloading your system. Number 1. Relying on refined grains as daily staples. If there's one grain mistake that can silently chip away at your health after 60, it's making refined grains the backbone of your daily diet. White bread, regular pasta, white rice, crackers, pastries, these foods have been stripped of their fiber, vitamins, minerals, and most of their natural protein, leaving behind mostly starch. Without the protective outer bran and nutrient-rich germ, refined grains break down into glucose at lightning speed once they hit your digestive system. This causes sharp spikes in blood sugar and insulin, which over time can fuel inflammation, accelerate artery damage, and increase your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even certain cancers. For seniors whose insulin sensitivity and metabolic flexibility are already reduced, the damage happens faster and the recovery is slower. The danger is that refined grains often feel light and easy to eat, meaning you can consume a large portion without feeling full for long. A breakfast of white toast, a sandwich on soft white bread for lunch, and pasta for dinner might seem harmless, but it's essentially 3 high-sugar hits in one day. These repeated spikes, followed by crashes, don't just drain your energy. They can impair memory, weaken immune defenses, and promote belly fat, which is directly linked to cardiovascular risk. And unlike whole grains, refined grains do little to feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which play a critical role in digestion, nutrient absorption, and even mood regulation. Research in circulation found that older adults who consumed the highest amounts of refined grains had a 27% higher risk of death from cardiovascular causes compared to those who prioritized whole grains. The difference wasn't just about nutrients. It was about blood sugar control, inflammation markers, and the hormonal effects of refined carbs over time. I've seen seniors who switched from refined to whole grains experience striking improvements. Steadier energy throughout the day, better blood sugar readings, improved digestion, and even less joint pain. One man in his early 70s told me that giving up his nightly plate of white pasta and replacing it with quinoa and vegetables not only helped him lose 12 pounds, but also made him feel more mentally sharp in the evenings, something he hadn't experienced in years. The fix is straightforward. Reserve refined grains for occasional treats, not daily staples. When you do have them, pair them with protein, healthy fats, and plenty of vegetables to slow down their impact on your system. By making whole grains your go-to, you give your body the fiber, vitamins, and steady fuel it needs to age with strength and resilience. As we've seen, grains can either be a steady source of health and vitality after 60, or a hidden driver of fatigue, weight gain, and chronic disease. The difference comes down to the choices you make every day, which grains you eat, how you prepare them, what you pair them with, and how much ends up on your plate. These small details add up over time, shaping your blood sugar, heart health, memory, and even your independence. The good news is that it's never too late to change. By avoiding these 5 dangerous mistakes and being more intentional with your grain habits, you can turn them from a silent risk into a real ally for healthy aging. I've watched seniors make these changes and see results in just weeks. More stable energy, better lab results, and a renewed sense of control over their health. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes have you been making without realizing it? And which change are you going to try first? Share your experience in the comments, and let's keep learning from each other.